Hey, I'm Max.
I'm Leah, and we are Screentimers because
we're both hungover. We had 20 high noons.
Screentimers, I just don't care. Screentimers, it just ain't fair. Screentimers, they scream and shout. Screentimers, there's no time out. Let's watch a show.
Hello and welcome to Screentimers, the official podcast of parents who DGAF.
Don't give a fuck?
No, do good ass familying.
Oh, okay. In that case, I'm Holly Prazoff and I DGAF.
Gotcha. I did mean don't give a fuck.
What? Oh, foiled again. Well, this episode, we've got a great one. Today, we're talking the 1997 film Air Force One with our guests, writers Max Silvestri and Leah Beckmann. They have two great podcasts. One is Past My Bedtime, a scripted comedy podcast they wrote and produced for Audible.
And Max has a new podcast coming out on October 21st with Gabe Liedman and Jenny Slate called I Need You Guys.
On today's episode, we contemplate what age is too young for a kid to watch an R-rated action movie, the current state of men's body wash, my experiences with Jamie Foxx and Cher, and the bygone era of rooting for America.
All this and more on this week's episode of Screentimers.
Well, we're so happy to have you guys
We're
today.
thrilled to be here.
Yeah, yeah.
We're here with Max Silvestri and Leah Beckmann.
Wow.
Husband and wife.
This
Yeah.
is a
Husband and
huge
wife.
get. Yeah, we like to.
We like a couples episode.
We do. We've had a couple couples, and
Have you seen any like explosive meltdowns, like huge misreads of reality?
I mean, we were hoping. This is what we were hoping.
I don't know what happens when
Sure.
they get in the car on the way home.
Yeah.
We drove separately
French.
here. Yeah.
for this episode, especially now that there's camera.
Yeah.
we like to put everyone's marriage to the test.
Yeah, that's what this is about, right?
Yeah, and you know, it's not like having a kid does that. It's really just being on a podcast.
Yeah.
Well, having a kid is such a unifying force. I just feel like it kind of like gets you on the same page immediately.
more
Totally.
Yeah.
Nobody taking stock of who's doing what or
Yeah. Point
keeping, not
tallying
at all
every day or whatever. Just sort of a...
Parenting strategies.
Yeah, we like really wanted to have you guys. Like, so I think the situation we want to fill our listeners in on is like, your kid is young.
teeny.
Yeah.
yeah, he's a baby and he doesn't watch a lot of TV, but he doesn't watch no TV.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
He's
like
20 months.
Yeah.
So he's interested in screens.
well, they're great.
Yeah, they're fantastic. That's where all the good stuff happens.
He sees how much we love ours, which is so much.
Yeah.
I know. I hate like because I really do feel like my kid is always like, I can't wait to get a phone, and I'm like, that's because she's watched me be like, you know
Yeah,
what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Like,
Yeah,
scroll.
like feel physical joy
Yeah.
every time you look at it.
I always think about this because I try not to look at my phone when I'm with my kid. I'm bad at it. But like, and I've even seen this. There's these ads that came out a few years ago. They won a bunch of awards, but it's like a mom on her phone and the kid on the couch. Both of the mom and the kid are on the couch, and there's like a big phone between them, like
Yeah.
separating them.
That's
And
actually
you're like,
haunting.
"Eh,
Yeah.
I think the better metaphor is the mom and a dad, or mom and a kid are on the couch, but they're like both sitting on the same phone. I think it's I think phones are unifying.
Yeah,
I
you're
think
right.
it's sweet when our son Waylon picks up a battery pack that's like roughly in the shape of the phone and holds it to his ear and says hello with a big smile.
This actually really spooks me because, like, he's definitely mimicking me. Like, I'm the one who was.
I don't
talking
speak to
the
people
phone.
on the
Yeah,
phone,
you're
certainly not with a tone
Oh, I
like
love
that.
to gab all
But
day.
I don't like hold up the phone to my ear like in an old timey way. I'm obviously like a modern woman who uses either the speakerphone or headphones.
Oh, go off.
I know.
Yeah.
Thank you. Not to brag. So why
self.
is he doing that? How does he know how to do that? Even this thing that I'm doing, like the phone thing.
Yeah.
That's not what he
And he doesn't
sees.
go to school. I mean, he just started.
Well,
Oh,
sort of. He does like
okay.
a once a week. Shout out to Miss Adrian.
Okay.
He does a once a week class called Sweet Pea, which is so cute. But believe me, there are no phones
Yeah,
there.
they're
as
not
you know.
teaching. They're not being like lesson
Magical
number
woman.
one.
Yeah.
A magical woman holding a little bluebird made out of yarn sings to him to come inside, and then they do. I learned how to knit, and there's no screens in there.
He drinks tea and tries to kick a baby or whatever with his cowboy boots.
Last week.
Oh, wow. That sounds like the perfect school.
Yeah.
The thing is, if we were
you got to
really
get good at kicking smaller people early because it's going to be a skill that pays off later.
if we were really being honest about what he wants to watch, actually, every single morning he wakes up and he asks for pictures, which is videos of himself doing things from the past.
or the very near.
Yeah, from the day
Yeah,
before.
like, yeah.
That's all he wants to watch.
He
Which
likes
is like-
watching his progress.
Wow. Do you think that's what it is?
Maybe.
Yeah, I mean,
He's like,
honestly,
look what
he gets a little
now
bored.
I do this.
Of baby stuff. Like when we go further back, he's less engaged with like recent memory.
I don't think he connects that he's that baby, but I love the idea of it being progress.
I hope
I
it's
thought
that.
it was like his, like, I like my life. I'm having a nice life. Look at these things I've done.
Yeah.
But progress.
That's such a male way. Yeah, it's like
It really
how
is.
you and I love
He's making games.
to take a like full body naked photo of ourselves
Oh,
each day and then
interesting.
quickly scroll through it to see how we're changing
and
or
it's
getting
it's
stronger.
for the better, isn't
It's
it?
fluctuates. It's
Yeah.
like,
It
worse,
changes.
better, worse, better.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, mine are only getting better. I'm like, damn. I thought this was good when I was 20, but now I'm
Now,
like,
yeah,
whoa.
I'm in my power now. Yeah.
Yeah, I finally feel comfortable in my own skin. But no, so like, I mean, what do you guys think, like, as you're moving forward with screen time? We always talk about like sort of general philosophies. Like, how do you feel when it's going to be time to start? Like, I mean, there's no real time to start. I mean, I guess they say after 2 or something, they're allowed to watch a little bit of screens.
I feel like we have a different, in a very, very calming way. Max is always like, it doesn't matter. Screens don't matter. And I'm deeply terrified of them, of course, and want to do everything I can to like avoid them. So maybe we'll meet in the middle.
That's the interesting thing is like, I think you go into parenting in general being like, I'll be this type of parent. And then when you're in the moment, you're like,
Yeah, who gives a shit? Well, I also don't want him to be like, I remember, even though it's very different for us, I remember like the kids who weren't allowed to watch anything or like,
Play video games.
yeah,
except
or
on
like
the
didn't have
weekend.
cable
Yeah.
or like didn't whatever, like just they're, you know.
What kind
like,
of loser kid didn't have cable?
A lot. Well, not me. Couldn't be me ever, but I lived in a very, I like didn't have a bedtime or any rules at all. And so it's been interesting to be like, I loved growing up that way. That was so tight to not have any rules. But it's funny that now I'm like, ooh, you got to have rules.
I wonder what it like. My attitude, I think, like before I really considered it, was like, well, everyone's going to use screens. His job is going to be, you know,
Screen.
auditing ChatGPT responses,
Yes.
like for a government or whatever to make sure that they're not showing pictures of like animal abuse or whatever. Like he's going to have
But
some
that's a
sort of
noble
screen
job. Yeah, that's noble.
repairing the computers that run society. And so in my head, I'm like, why would I want to make him an outlier? Like, I feel like our generation, your main focus when you're young is to not be weird and to not
Yeah.
stand out and to not be the homeschool kid that's like, a grape is my friend or whatever. Or just be like, why aren't you regular?
so cute.
Why don't you hold He-Man? Exactly. Now I feel like millennials raising kids want them to be exceptional, want them to have one of
Yeah.
one names, want them to be, we gave our son a name nobody else has,
Yeah.
or that we didn't
So
know anyone
annoying.
who. That,
Well, yeah, that was important to us too.
Yeah.
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 And so I'm like, is the idea of trying to, I don't know, maybe a kid that has like unlimited YouTube TV from 2 will be the weird,
Yeah, that's
interesting one in school in
yeah.
Los Angeles.
No, totally. I mean, it's also like we, I think, are of the generation that's like, you got to have a special job. Like the goal is to have a special creative job. And if you don't, somehow it's like a failing. And that is completely going extinct. Like there's no, these kids now need to like make money and have their little jobs. And
Yeah.
like, I can imagine that like the level of preciousness that we grew up with maybe is we're trying to pass on to them, but like won't be something we treasure. I don't know.
Well, and
Or
like,
that they
was my
treasure.
childhood precious? I watched TV all the time and no one cared.
Yeah.
You know, I like look back now and I'm like, oh, they didn't care.
Yeah, absolutely. My sister was writing notes to the Rosie O'Donnell show, like letters begging for different guests at like 6 years old every day after school.
Whoa, did Rosie ever write back?
Not one.
What?
Not even for someone from The Office.
No, never. She never got a response. That's sad.
Do you know that Joe Mandy, comedian,
Yes.
occasional podcaster, I'm gonna say friend of the show.
Yeah, great.
His job one summer in college was he was an intern at the Maury Povich show, and his job was to read and sort those letters, never respond, but occasionally there would be letters that would be something good for the show, where they're like, they have some juicy story. But a lot of times it would be people being like, and this is a Joe story I'm stealing, like, "Dear Maury, like, I got banned from the Walmart in my town and it's my whole life. You need to like fix it." It'd be like, how's Maury Povich going to fix your Walmart banning in a rural town in Florida or whatever? So I'm sorry that and someone probably did read Becca's letter. They just put it in a pile that was like
Under
mush.
a bunch of koosh
Oh,
balls.
a 6-year-old. Why couldn't they just have sent her a signed headshot?
Yeah.
It's so easy. So
Yeah.
easy. She's
Yeah.
She should have
devastated.
included a stamp. That's sort of on Becca to not include a
Oh, a return
self-addressed-
envelope. Yeah,
stamped
yeah.
envelope.
I mean,
Oh, yeah,
Rosie
yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
have that extra kind of cash flying around.
She's putting that money on screen. That's why the show was a home run.
That was still when she was straight and in love with Tom Cruise. That was like a
Absolutely.
huge.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That was
a
a
huge premise
time.
of the show.
Wow.
I
And the
had
koosh
limits on
balls.
TV.
Yeah,
You did.
Yeah, because I had a TV in the room, and it was like timed limits, and I have vivid memories of being like, I'm not allowed to watch past 9, but or maybe 10, but that's when Raw starts,
Oh, okay.
which was a WWF, now WWE weekly show, and I'm only allowed to do like an hour and a half a day, and sometimes it'd be like, but I really need to do 2 hours. And
So
like
who would
hiding
step in and be like, "No more"?
Well, I would like watch with the volume. It was like probably still a TV that had like a physical volume knob, and I would watch with the volume set to 1 with like my nose against the glass, like trying to watch it so quietly with all the lights off. And then if I heard someone on the stairs, it would be like turn it off and hope that little like fizzy
Oh, yeah.
green
this is interesting.
CRT like.
But this made TV like kind of thrilling for you.
Sure, yeah.
Oh,
It
yeah.
was like adrenaline.
I had to
which
watch on a
if-
schedule. Nothing was on demand. It was
If
like
we're monitoring their screen time, that's going to be what it is for them too.
I honestly think that something I might do, which will be obnoxious for our son,
can't
and he
wait.
might not like it, is I had, I have to rebuild one, but I've built Plex servers in the past in our home, which is like basically your own streaming service that you set up
Wow.
to download whatever you want. And the app, which will run on anything, only has access to the stuff locally you've got on like a drive or a server. So we used to do it for just to like have local.
We definitely.
Yeah. Leah was doing a
Yeah,
lot
you were
of
getting up
did a
in
lot
there.
of
setting
it.
up
Yeah,
network
yeah.
attached storage
I
devices.
do a lot of the
and-
server.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
and
what
we would
I'm-
argue, do you want RAID 4 or RAID
Yeah.
5, which is
And
better
I'm
for
like,
data
I'm
redundancy?
And that's how you know your marriage is strong, because you guys are doing shared activities.
And that's so
yeah,
important.
exactly. Reading the manuals of
Exactly.
the Synology.
I
I would
to
argue
read
kind of
manuals.
sexier shared activity.
But I can actually imagine creating my own, like, our curated YouTube Kids for Waylon that's like pulls the old movies we like, the shows we like,
I think
even
that's
new stuff or
yeah.
whatever, but just like he can have his little remote, but we kind of know that.
You should sell that to parents.
Okay.
Because there is no multi-platform version of that.
Right, because I want to have Netflix, some at Netflix, some HBO, exactly.
I think that that's like a great idea, because I think a lot of parents want to show kids. I mean, they're not going to like it. Like you have
Yeah.
an experience like we showed Sally like Charlie Brown, and she put a blanket over her head for most of it because it's
Like one of the
Boring.
characters.
yeah,
Oh,
exactly
that's
so
so
boring. I
sad.
know.
And kids find the Muppets boring.
Yeah,
kind
so
of,
boring. Because like every
is
Which is a
Actually,
bummer. Well,
that
maybe when
breaks
they
my
get
heart.
maybe when our kids get a little older, they'll like
No.
it.
We've done a lot of Sesame Street and Muppets, and he still likes it, but he's still so little he doesn't know what anything
It's
is.
offensive when he likes the new Sesame Street
Yeah,
stuff
yeah.
that's
Yeah.
like 3D animated, and
Yes.
it's like, this is the new character, like Chris Nazzle or whatever,
Yes.
and it's just like some, like so modern and like loud, and then that's when he really locks in. You're like,
the
damn.
Muppets and Pee-wee's Playhouse were like my entire childhood. That was like completely what I was raised on, and I keep thinking like, if I just save these things, if he sees these before he sees the other things, maybe we'll get a little bit of time.
You'll get it. Like, 'cause
Yeah.
Sally was watching Pee-wee's Playhouse with Joe a little bit, but like ultimately we're fighting a losing battle, because like current kids shows have like, it's like flashing and lights and
Yeah,
music
yeah,
and like
yeah.
so much like going
This is like
on.
my dad trying to show me Hogan's Heroes. Or
Yeah,
whatever. Being like, this is
exactly.
the funniest show, and I was like, shut up, you idiot! I want to go
Yeah.
upstairs and watch
Yeah.
Kids in the Hall or whatever. And I
Bonanza's
just,
on.
yeah, like
Yeah.
the idea of trying to like make, like, also it's our tastes are so. I'm not going to
cool,
speak.
perfect.
Oh,
There is a lot of, I think, our culture was so dominated by boomer values that I think even our generation absorbed. Like, we like old Paul Simon, and we like 70s, 80s things that we weren't alive for. And I think this generation and younger has no interest in being like celebrating 80s culture in a way that we liked. Well, we were 70s culture.
Yeah, we grew up being told that like Sgt. Pepper's is the best album ever. And we're like, okay.
And people are still right. It's not hasn't changed. People aren't like, no, it's actually the Deftones or whatever. They're still like, no, Sgt. Pepper, and the same people still like own the magazines, or their sons do, or whatever.
I mean, that's an interesting. I mean, here's what fucked me up as a kid or as a teenager. My parents were watching Kids in the Hall, so like I was,
crazy.
So I was like, ew, that show's so lame. Like my parents are watching it. Because like, you know, in Canada, it was like on.
Oh, of course.
You know, it was like so
you had to watch it to get your check or whatever.
Exactly,
to get your bag of milk.
Yeah, you get your bag of milk and your health care.
Yeah, right.
Your toonies, your loonies.
Yeah.
That's how you do it.
Can I ask? I think we were all grew up forced to have a bit of, like a bit of a monoculture, because there were only a few shows you could watch, and there were this sort of set Saturday morning cartoons and whatever. Now, because of all the streaming services, so many more options. Is there still this kind of feeling of like, well, all the kids at school are talking about Trash Truck, so like I kind of want to watch Trash Truck because I don't want to know.
I mean, like Minecraft.
Yes,
I think. You know, when they're a little younger, they're all kind of like watching like Blippi or maybe something like that. They're not really maybe they're talking about it.
Well,
it's so cute.
Like for us, like K-pop Demon Hunters, like it
right
hits so hard.
Yeah,
right. Like you're a freak if you don't watch it.
Yeah. And it's like, I do like it. I like getting it. Like, you know, I've talked about this before, but like my parents will literally be like, oh, I have fun with the sheep if I'm like watching something that's popular. And you're like, guys.
Love your alt Canadian parents.
I know.
This is such a great.
It's so annoying because it's like, guys, sometimes you want to just go to a movie theater and watch the same movie that everybody's watching as like part of culture, to be like, I watched it and we can talk about it.
Yeah.
But like, no, that was very frowned upon in my house to like do what other people were doing. And I, for a long time, played along. But then at a certain point, I was like, F this. Like, I want friends and I want to talk to people.
Yeah.
I just listened to this podcast that was like about Gen Alpha. Basically, there was like a big study that Gen Alpha is like going back, prefers movies in theaters to movies at home. And like, you would think that just the trend is like everybody's just on their phones and we're just like, no one's going to ever want to pay attention, and we're going to have to make movies where there's like, you're allowed to text the screen or whatever because kids' brains are so broken. But like Gen Alpha, I guess, like actually really likes the social. It's so rare to have an experience without phones.
They get to like misbehave in public.
No, Gen Alpha's not the one doing that.
We were just talking about this last night. They like get to go to a movie theater and be like wild while watching Minecraft.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
The Minecraft. Yes, that is when they were doing it.
But they really, really like things that older people don't know or understand. Like, some of them doubling down on Minecraft is specifically because it is so confusing to people who are above 20.
This is like Riz, Sigma.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like we like that you don't get this, and so we're actually making it even more of a thing.
Yeah, like Skibbity Toilet.
Oh my God, I can't believe I got old. Like, I just cannot believe it. I cannot believe it.
It's so hard. Like, we had to have Alan McLeod on this podcast to just be like, what is Minecraft? What is it?
Why is Minecraft?
And like Alan McLeod explaining it to you, if you haven't listened to that episode, it's like, it does make it seem less scary. He's got such a comforting voice, and he really takes you through what it is. And like, we are not afraid, but it's everything seems super unknown, and I feel like
I don't want Joni to be a Minecraft dork.
Yeah, I shan't be.
Like with the Minecraft backpacks and all that stuff. You're like,
dude,
man.
Hey,
it is cool that there's a creative part of the fandom.
Yeah,
and Gen Alpha also really likes things that let them like iterate inside of it. You know, that you can make your own Minecraft.
I also wonder. I feel like extra sensitive. The word like. I feel extra protective maybe about it having a boy, maybe, because I'm just like, the scarier stuff to me seems like it's so like boy stuff is so crazy. Maybe it's because
it really is. And there's kind of weirdly been an overcorrection towards it, like where I feel like, because we both have girls, I feel personally like we're like, whatever. Like,
yes,
we're like,
I would too.
Whereas I think like people who have boys are like, is that okay? Is it okay he's doing that? It's like, I'm not sure that's better either, if we're now like you know what I mean, like super like worried. And some of it is just, you know, boys, like the boys stuff, it really is like marketed it in this more aggressive tone.
Yeah.
And if my son wants to watch a YouTube video called "How to Peel the Skin Off Your Crush," he can do that. That's
how's he
just
gonna
boys
learn?
being boys. He's growing. It's glandular. Just let it happen.
Well, and it's like-
if his crush should maybe respond to his DM. She doesn't want to get her skin peeled off.
Boys have a lot of testosterone.
Yeah, and I want him to do it right if he's going to do it. That's a big thing for me.
I don't
DIY
want my
culture.
skin peeled off. Is this what younger women are wanting?
No, they're not wanting that. And
they
that's a
wanna
big
keep
part
their skin
about
on, I
why
would
boys
say.
are teaching
Yeah.
boys how to do
Well,
it.
even if you like walk down, like I just saw like a whole TikTok series about like the marketing towards men and women. This is not children. It's like if you walk down the like cosmetic aisle or like let's just say like a body wash aisle of women, it's like soft colors and smooth and soft. And then you like walk down
Yeah,
the
like a
men's
woman.
aisle. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Everything's like like what it's all like men's lumberjack body
Yeah.
wash, and it's like it's Sasquatch. And
I'd
it's
rather
like,
have a dirty penis than clean it with something that is
like
in
lone
a
wolf.
gunmetal gray bottle. Like
I mean, you've
only
heard it
get
here first,
gunmetal
folks.
gray. Battleship gray is the only color of
More than that, I think what
grooming.
we're not talking about is the actual like texture of the bottle. Why do all men's things have like grip?
It's like a
there's
matte finish.
It's like
Yeah.
you could grab. No, not just.
No, but I mean, like, it's like it's
grip.
the
Your
texture.
hands to
Yeah,
grab.
Because only
Yeah.
girls
Like-
drop things.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it is. But, okay,
Squeezing
that
it on
is-
the go or
Yeah,
whatever.
it's like to get more out.
yeah, but
Yeah.
like, is it like a weird like don't drop the soap like disgusting like
Oh,
that
yeah,
where
yeah,
you
yeah.
can hold on to it in the
It's
shower?
feminine
Yeah.
to need to pick something up for sure. And definitely in a public space like the shower at the Y or whatever, where it's presuming all men are lathering.
or the shower at your home,
it
which
so
by the
hard.
way is
Yeah.
you
You never know who's lurking.
yeah.
Yeah.
well, yeah, your gender neutral bathroom at home, because every bathroom at home is gender neutral. So you want to grip onto the soap. You don't know who's
It
coming
says
in.
guys, gals, and non-binary pals written
Yeah,
in
yeah,
script
yeah.
lettering on the door of our bedroom.
Oh, great. Oh, bedroom. Okay, great. Yeah. Okay.
Anyone can go to the bathroom in any part of our bedroom.
Gender neutral bedroom.
It's a gender neutral floor for shitting and pissing on. Yeah, yeah.
Oh my God. Please invite us over. Matt and I would love to experience it. Well, I think so we kind of went a bit
Yeah, we've
nuts.
been wild.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to do something fun. We're going to talk about a movie, like, because your kid has not watched a lot of TV, and we want to be clear, not a kid's movie that we're covering.
No.
Certainly not.
But I just want to defend and say sometimes you're watching something,
Yeah.
and when their kids are that young, they're gonna.
Yeah. My
see
kid
it.
watched so much Real Housewives of everything.
Of course.
And I hope it went in. I do.
A lot of Love Island was breastfeeding.
I really
You
want-
hope that that's
Yeah.
how she views friendship and conflict and
Yes.
conflict
Yeah.
resolution.
Exactly. I want
And
her to
how to
have
have
some
your
sort
face
of
look.
side
Yeah.
hustle. I want her
How to dress for a dinner out that has no occasion but quite a bit of pomp. Like absolutely to the nines for a 9-person reservation.
Right.
With an
Well,
unclear
at the
purpose.
very least, what is expected of you on a Sprinter van?
Yes,
Right,
yes,
right,
exactly.
exactly, yeah.
Or I also want her to know that if you have an issue with somebody, you tell it to their face and you make a big deal about it.
Yeah.
You know what
Absolutely.
I mean? And let it go several episodes of your
How
of your
else?
hangs. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And drink a bunch of wine before you do this.
Yeah.
Yes.
Of course.
So you look, we are doing Air Force One. We're chatting
Yep.
about Air Force One.
Yep.
The movie,
Yes.
not
The
movie.
not the plane.
Not
no,
the
your
plane.
son has
Yeah.
not been on Air Force One, the
No.
plane
Nope.
yet.
He has no opinions on it,
Oh.
but he has seen a lot of the Harrison Ford, Gary
I would
Oldman
say all
film.
of.
Yeah.
Well, you
I think
guys-
it's the most movie he's seen.
Yes.
Like we've tried to show Moana twice. You know, the first 10 minutes, he loves the first
He
two
loves You're Welcome.
songs. He loves
Oh, great.
and they do. No, he loves that song. He didn't make it that far in the movie.
Oh, okay.
because that's the thing is he's too young to
Well,
like
it's
lock
like there's
into
not
the story.
enough like what country are we fighting in this movie in Moana? You know what I mean? There's not
Yeah.
enough like who's the hero, who's the bad
Yeah.
guy, who's sneaking on a plane.
Yeah.
What's our government's policy on negotiating with
Oh,
terrorists?
it is. Do
you know?
not.
Yes.
No.
Do not. But then that puts you in quite a quandary.
I'm gonna
if
argue-
the head of your dang government is taken by the very terrorists you just said on television.
Right.
You won't negotiate.
If you
with?
went off script
Oh,
at a
he-
speech.
I'm
Our
going to
main character
argue
put himself in quite a
that
pickle.
negotiation is probably the most important thing that a president of a country can do. And the fact that the main premise of this movie is that Harrison Ford's like, I don't do it. You're like, oh, well then.
No.
well,
Whoa. Not to get into statecraft here, but what they're saying in the movie is that specifically terrorists and
Okay.
kidnapping situations, if there's any give, then it's an incentive for terrorism and kidnapping to happen because they know that there will be a negotiation. They can get things. So if you say that like are citizens abroad, we will never negotiate for
Right.
them. You hope that your citizens abroad will not be.
Look how immediately serious this
And I'm
is.
screaming
This
this
is
at my
why I'm
son's face.
terrified for my male child.
This was 2 months ago, so he was also like 17 months old. I mean, this was like
Well,
Wait,
in a
here's
way,
what
that's-
happened. Yeah.
Okay, no, you go ahead.
Okay, look. We went on a boat the day before. Okay, it's something that we do with our group of friends every summer. It's one of our favorite days of the year.
It's also something the Real Housewives love, so I'm in.
They do
Yes.
love. Yes. And like there's just a chaotic, fun energy on a boat. There always is because it's so unless you have a boat, it's really rare.
Yeah.
So you have 3 hours to
live your best life.
drink as much as possible within 2 miles of Marina Del Rey.
It was
Because you don't
also
even go
my-
that much further.
It was my first time on a boat. Or it was my first summer doing boat since having the baby. So
There's
like
also almost nothing more sacred for a mother than her first time back on a
That's
boat
true.
drinking.
That's what they
after a
say.
boat
That's
trip.
pregnant on the
say.
last one. We just had him. It was on the next one. It was like this was like I'm back, baby.
Yeah.
Like mama needs her mommy juice. And so also a friend of ours was flying in to surprise the boat crew. So like what I'm setting up here is it was wild.
Yeah, it was fun. It was
We came back home after the boat. So this was a daytime ride. We got home. We were with Waylon, pretty buzzed and hyped up for an hour and a half, put him to bed. Everybody
Great.
was like, oh, your baby's so cute. Let's order pizza. What a boat day. We love you. Put him to bed.
It's so crazy to be around a baby on mushrooms.
Yeah, 7 o'clock bedtime or whatever, and then people kept drinking. So we had like a rare 8-hour drinking day,
Yeah.
and
Very
he
rare.
in his mind he's going to
Yeah.
bed at a normal time.
Mom and Dad are
See
so
in the
fun.
morning.
Yeah.
We don't have anyone sleeping over to baby. Like it was just
Our friend Emma, who was visiting, stayed with us. The next day, I would say I spent so much of the morning moaning
Yeah.
that he loved it actually. I think he was like, this is a fun energy to bring. Our
parents
friend,
are pretending to be ghosts or whatever.
yeah. I like went through the neighborhood. He was also really in a phase of pointing to everything going, what's that?
Oh,
What's
yeah.
that? What's that?
Oh, love it.
And I was like, that's a trash can. That's still a trash can. That's
Yeah.
a trash can. Okay, our friend Emma was a real hero. Like to wake up, she doesn't have kids, to wake up at somebody's house where they have a baby when you're also so hungover and have to like hang out with the kid. That is hero shit.
So she didn't wake up till 10 or so, but we still had a like kind of pretty crucial time to kill before we got to take
Another movie that
that
we'll be showing
essential
really soon.
midday. Yes, exactly.
naps.
Midday,
Oh.
we were just fighting
Yes.
till 11:45 a.m.
I remember those days.
Oh, so it was like, Emma had woken up. It's like 10 and there's a certain type of hangover where I personally need to see a movie where the place in the ocean they are gets written on screen in like a typewriter
yeah. Oh, yeah.
font with kind of a like dateline, like it says like Indian Ocean.
Ideally green.
Yeah.
Ideally green.
Yes.
Ideally, we're a drone shot of a battleship or a
Yeah,
sub.
sometimes you're like a boop.
Yep.
boop,
And maybe it's a cold open and the movie's not going to take place on a battleship, but ideally it will. So it was like, we need a movie that somehow like locates us in
grounds you.
Cold War intersectional zones. And Air Force One was what we chose. And
I also want to say that
Was it on like TNT or something?
Oh no, we
or
put
were
it
you-
on.
Oh,
we
wow.
put it on.
Okay,
And we
yeah.
put it on like
I
full,
picked
like
it.
Blu-ray DTS sound. Like it was
great.
booming. I think we were away with
I-
him for a second, so
Okay,
we started
my
it without
bat
him.
mitzvah, not to always bring it back to my bat mitzvah, but the theme of it was movies, just movies.
Oh,
Not
great.
even like Leah goes to the movies or like Hollywood. It was just movies. And
Well, everyone loves movies, so
Everyone loves
yeah.
movies.
Bunch of clapboards everywhere.
I wish, honestly. There was no other.
Wasn't making movies.
My mom very
How
specific-
they start the scene and keep track of it is none of Leah's business.
Absolutely
She
not my
cares
business.
about the finished film.
So was it just
it was-
popcorn?
No, not even. My mom's very specifically was like, we're having your bat mitzvah party at a nice restaurant, so it doesn't need to have decorations. But I was like, but she was like, but the theme can be movies, and I basically what happened is I picked 5 movies that were like randomly given out throughout the night to different people who deserved prizes. That was like the whole theme.
Oh wow.
Yeah, movies. Anyway,
I would
Air
have loved to
Force
have gone.
One.
I love movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, to get a movie, to
Yeah.
own it forever.
Well, if you were lucky, there were only 5. Not everyone got one. So Air Force One was one of them, and for some reason, I just like loved that movie even as a 13-year-old. I mean, this is back to like parents. I don't know why I was watching that movie at 13. I guess now in this tradition.
You had cool parents. That's why.
I had cool parents. One of the other movies that I gave away was Face Off.
Ooh.
Another
Great.
insane
Oh
movie.
yeah,
Yeah,
great.
very
Yes.
cool and intense.
Anyway, I think I had just been talking about this, but Air Force One was very in my fresh on my mind.
Yeah.
So anyway, we put it on.
And it's not like Moana.
No, it's
It's not like Trash
It
Truck
begins
or
with
Sesame
the
Street.
bloodbath.
Yeah. There's so, and it's like,
A woman in a business suit is shot in the head in front of a little girl, like within 15 minutes of the movie.
yeah.
It's-
It's
they're not
Wolfgang
messing around.
Petersen, I believe is the director.
Yep.
Made his bones on Das Boot. A very like not that it's an accurate movie, but I feel like the gunshots are really intense in Air Force One, and it's a lot of gunfire on a plane, gunfire outside, like it's jets.
Wait, I'm just remembering that I also was so hungover that I was like, about the villain, I was like, God, this guy is amazing. Why didn't he do anything
Yeah.
later on?
We watched the whole movie.
It's Gary Oldman.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's so yeah,
He
it
did-
is.
he had
Yeah,
Not in heavy makeup. This is
No.
not Gary Oldman as Winston Churchill, where you're like, well, who is this big fat bald
No,
actor I've
it's-
never seen before? No, it's
Rolled out of bed. And
yeah, it's Gary Oldman putting the lightest of Russian separatist accents on, and Waylon really was like, it was like the mix of like, why am I getting to see this?
yes,
I've never seen this.
yeah. This is special.
Why are all these people in suits upset? Why is there like so much yelling? Plane stuff had cool noises, but then also like, why are my parents acting like this? Why are their faces groaning? Why are they letting me do this? Why are they holding me tightly?
And then also, when like the shooting starts, he was like frozen. It makes me feel so guilty now to even talk about it. Like, especially because as we just discussed, I really am like, look at the flowers, Waylon. Like,
Yes.
wow, you already know that these are tulips and
Yeah.
these are called roses. You know that these are poppies. Like, I am really
We should
just
only
like,
watch women-owned documentaries
yeah, I'm like
about plants.
really amping up the gentleness. And yet,
And
Listen,
yet-
special circumstances.
he was like, I've never seen it. He was having like a physical reaction to watching these.
well, I want to
Hearing
say
this.
that your kid has very good taste in movies.
Thank you.
And one thing about
Matt loved it.
the
You know he did.
negotiating that's interesting, and what a thing that your kid probably loved is that Harrison Ford says it's kind of like if you give a mouse a cookie,
Yes.
they're gonna want a glass of milk.
Oh, yeah.
Negotiate with terrorists.
Yeah.
So the metaphor space really was locked in
Yes.
on
2-year-old.
Yeah. That's so funny. I completely forgot that line.
Yeah, that was drilled home. That's I would argue is like the premise line of the movie.
Okay, but the
Well, and
coolest
get off my
thing,
plane.
Yeah.
there's an escape pod for the president on
Yep.
Air Force One.
Yep.
In this movie,
Is- yeah, we don't know if that's
Online,
true.
It says there's no evidence that it exists, but I beg to differ.
Like in
they're
real
not going to
life.
In
confirm
real
or
life,
deny
they're
that.
not going to tell us the fact
For
that
sure, there's
a
a
real.
pot on there.
No one's ever denied it. We're saying
No.
the government has never come out and said Air Force One didn't happen.
They say it's impractical, but I disagree.
It's fun to think about like which president you think would stay on the plane and which would get on the pod. Probably all on the pod.
Oh, I mean,
Yeah.
I watched it with Joe, and he was like, "This poor man, I can relate. He just wants to watch the big game."
Yeah, that is so much a part of it.
I
He
know.
just wants to watch the game.
He wants.
Does he put? I have it like maybe I'm conflating Clear and Present Danger and other similar movies where he plays a government official, but I feel like Harrison Ford often puts his alma mater sweatshirt on in this era of 80s,
no,
90s.
he's in a wrinkled suit for this like the whole time.
The whole time I was
Yeah.
like, does he
he-
get cozy to watch the big game? I
well,
guess
he
not.
doesn't.
I'm thinking
Oh.
of
He doesn't even
he
get
has a
time.
brewski.
he has a bruise,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
But
he like
doesn't
sits
get to
down.
ever
It's like,
just
the day is done.
God,
Yeah.
I'm
I
on Air
wanna-
Force One.
Joe was like, "I'd be on that pod, and they'd be showing me the game
Yeah.
so quickly." The man wants to watch
Can
the
I
game.
watch the game in the pod?
Yeah, can you
They're
record
like,
the
sir,
game?
your wife and children. He's like, who?
It's really
Make it
fun
a law
that
that
there
no
were-
one's allowed to spoil the game, and then when my pod
Well, that
lands,
is one of
show
the-
me the game on tape, and no one's allowed to talk about.
That is one
what
of the
answer
wah
is.
wah movies because he moments where he kind of gets through. He's like, "I don't want it. Don't tell me about the game. Don't tell me the game." And then like somebody like an intern or somebody's like, "Hear about the big game," and tells him the score, and he's like, "Oh man,
That's all
yeah, the poor president. He can't even get the game spoiled for
All
him."
men want is to find to be surprised by the score when it happens. That's all they want is to watch it and not know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I have a soft touch with that. I don't think
Yeah,
I'm like.
you're.
I'm not like.
You're not.
Don't.
You're not passionate about the big game.
I'm not mad if the big game gets spoiled for me.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, it happened.
You're like, you just saved
Oh
me a
no!
few hours. Thank
I
you.
have
Thank you.
like Joe will like text everyone he knows and goes like, "I'm going to be on delay. Don't you dare text me."
Wow.
Like he won't look at his phone.
Is he like that about movie spoilers?
No. Well, I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah.
He's always texting me, don't talk to me about any movies. And it's not even in a spoiler way.
Yeah.
It's just like
in
it's
general?
a general reminder. And it's like, God, I haven't texted you in 6 months. And it's almost to the minute as if you had a reminder
Like-
saying, don't talk to me about movies.
Well, it's weird. He like
Films are none of your business.
he loves to spoil a movie for me. So it's like he'll go out like today. He's going to see a movie. He will come home and then be like, "Do you want to know what it's about?" I'm like, I'll go, okay. And then he will tell me the full movie from start to finish. And I prefer Joe's version. That's
Oh,
me.
That's really
Sweet.
nice.
Love.
That's really sweet. I also like really don't care about spoilers. I
No.
don't. That's not my. I appreciate it and will respect it for other people.
Yes.
But that does not. Never could I
Like-
yeah,
care.
your attitude is often like,
Yeah.
I would rather be talking with you or this person
Yeah.
and continuing this conversation than being like, why don't we just be quiet?
Can I tell you something?
Don't tell me.
My cousin is very much a don't tell me person, and he is so nuts about spoilers that like on a show like The Bachelor or The Bachelorette, they'll do like a thing of like coming up after the break. He won't even watch that.
Wow.
Yeah, that's. I mean, I think you're either a spoiler person or not. Like, I think you either really care or you don't give a shit.
Oh no, I will immediately, like when I was watching Bachelorette, I would immediately like after the first episode be like, who won? Just look it up and be like,
Oh, yeah.
okay.
That makes-
Actively searching.
You
for it.
always, while we're watching new things based on real events, like if it's a nonfiction thing or a series
Yeah, I do do
about,
that.
you will immediately look to see basically the end story for every single character. It's like, well, this is episode 1 of a true
Crown
crime
was
fictional
like,
series.
the
Like
story
it's like
for me.
immediately like, oh, yep, okay, now I know. I'm like, well, that doesn't seem fun.
I love the historical fiction element
Yeah,
of it.
I like to know. I am the same way. Like,
Yeah.
You know what's going to happen. You're like, I know it's going to happen, but how do they get there?
How did
Well,
you
no,
get there?
I want to
Yeah,
be really clear. I don't actively seek out spoilers unless it was a real event. Then I'm just like it's
yes,
too
well, and you
juicy.
know it's Googleable.
Yeah.
And what did they get wrong?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, love
And
to hear that.
Now, do we think Air Force One was based on real events, or
I mean, we don't know.
I was thinking there are not enough. I feel like the phase of president as, I mean, he has reasons.
Yeah.
But the movies of like president as hero, superhero, like president turned action star, like in I guess I was gonna say Independence Day, but I guess
Yeah, but
yeah,
the
no,
president's
yeah, he's
cool in
he
that
goes
one.
to the
Well,
yeah.
I'm going to argue now. This might blow your guys' mind as somebody coming from Canada. These are propaganda films, okay? These
Grow up.
Yeah,
Oh my
yeah,
God.
And like, there was
Okay,
a
sheeple.
but-
yeah.
but I'm going to
Gen
be
X
honest.
parents.
But you know
wa-
what? The Army, I've read this thing, like there's a bunch of movies that the Army helped finance.
Oh,
that are,
yeah.
like
Oh,
major.
yeah.
like, and I'm sure this is on there.
They have so much money.
Well,
I mean,
and-
it makes you love America watching this movie. You're like, we're fucking badass.
absolutely.
Well,
I'm
that's why I was excited to watch this movie. I was like, yes, I have not seen this movie. I want to feel patriotic for a
it's so
second.
fun to root for America.
Like, let me do this. But I'm going to be honest, this movie was more like it stressed me so much because this movie, let's be honest, made before 9/11. So when this movie was made, it was like, this could never happen. So you can fantasize about this crazy thing happening. And now I'm like, this could happen. It's like, it just...
yeah.
Plane hijackings were a big thing. Like, it happened all the time in the 70s.
But they were funny and cool.
Yeah.
It was genuinely just like,
Everyone
we're going to
was wearing-
Lebanon for a month. And you're like, oh, we live in this hotel in Lebanon. Or just like,
everything-
while it's,
cool
some like
clothes.
rich heiress or whatever
Yeah.
is just
Everything
like, we
was
want
more
all the
fun.
monkeys in the zoos free. And you're like, okay, this is
Like,
rad.
I remember as a child, Saddam Hussein had like basically held a bunch of British hostages for a while. And I remember watching it on the news and then laughing with my parents about it and doing impressions because none of those people got hurt.
Yeah.
And I remember
Oh,
like
yeah.
so many of the interviews were him asking kids if they had cookies or if they wanted cookies. And like, that was like, he was doing that as a way to be like, I'm a great guy. And you're like, okay, but these people are kind of being held against their will.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah.
Low-key,
Yeah. But the
low-key
stakes
not
were
allowed to
lower.
leave.
Yeah.
But like, why was everything more fun? It's like now watching Air Force One now, I was like,
Well, Well, 9/11, but also I think like terrorists did start cutting people's heads off on
Yes.
YouTube, and that was
Yeah,
like
things got
It was
real.
like, oh, it used to just be like until your infidel, government pays restitution, you'd be like, oh God, and every embassy will just sort this out or whatever. And
Yeah,
that
and
doesn't
now-
go down like that
That's
anymore.
why the movie is was so fun to watch and so crazy, because it's like, this is so thrilling and scary, because no one would ever get shot in the head on an airplane by terrorists. Like, they would never take it that far. And now it's like, well,
You don't know what's going to happen next in this movie.
I
Yeah.
mean, everything is very
Or in real life.
stressful.
Yeah.
And like, Joe kept being like, picture this as our current president. And it's like, we need, if I could say this, we need a hero, man. We
Yeah.
need a hero
Yeah.
big time. I remember seeing this movie was a big movie.
I mean, everybody knows the line, get off my plane.
Yeah.
I mean, incredible.
And
he throws
like-
him off, and then there's the shot of him like with his head like, and he's floating through.
Yeah. They killed bad guys really good in 90s
Yeah, they
action
killed
movies.
him so good. Yeah,
Also,
Decapitate a guy in Speed.
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
like, I think, we were also kind of going to talk about like when and how do we talk about patriotism with our children? Like, this is another interesting thing. Like, Sally used to have this book that was like, America the Great or something. And it was just like, she was obsessed with reading it. And it's like, these movies were good for maybe, I don't know. We do want kids to be excited about their country.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
you
I
wanna
don't care if Waylon's excited about America. I'm like, you're gonna live in a different time.
I think you should feel lucky. I don't know that these movies, like, ultimately, like, he still was born in a great time, not a great, like, he of all the places to be born.
Yeah, yeah.
This time remains.
I think
one of the
we
top
only feel
ever.
that way because we were born in that time where we thought that, or well, you
Yeah, we
I
were raised
did,
that
like,
way, but
that's-
now kids are being raised to be like, not things are great, and like division,
and also like this country isn't the center of
the world,
the world, and
Well, I mean, I was
I'm fine with
jealous
them
of, like, there's no Canadian equivalent of a movie like Air Force
There's no
One.
like cool prime minister movie.
yeah,
No.
but see, that's great. You're such a well-adjusted.
You gotta
No,
write
I'm not
it.
at all. I was jealous of you guys because, like, it's cool. Like, in Canada, like, if someone waves the flag, we're all kind of like, sorry. Sorry about the flag. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like,
That's good. That seems healthy to me.
like, it's kind of like, Canada Day is like July 1st. 4th of July is 4th of July. It's like Canada Day is kind of like, yeah, you see some flags. Yeah, you light some fireworks. Like, there's no, like, I appreciate the, like, you gotta have a hot dog on the 4th of
Yeah,
July.
the
Like,
bluster of it.
I
yeah.
think
Yeah.
this is because it's novelty to you still. Like I completely am at peace with him being like, this is a thing from the past
yes.
that was crazy that my parents and everybody else.
Hot dogs.
No, he can eat hot dogs.
Okay,
So hot dogs
but
can
he
be
shouldn't be
part of his
especially
president.
excited on July 4th
No.
for the hot dog.
Hot dogs and fireworks rock.
I think he should have the dinner from Weapons every single night, a tray of 7 hot dogs with
then he has
mustard
to
on
feed
them
us.
with chips.
I mean,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
every 6 months there's an article that comes out that's like, how many hot dogs are poison? And it's like, you know what I mean? Like, how many you can eat. And it's
Yeah,
like, they're
yeah,
always
yeah.
like, you should have one a year. And you're like, oh.
I can't stop eating them if they're out. Like I'll just keep eating
Oh,
I mean,
God,
hot
I
I
dogs.
love
think
a
they say
dog.
each one shaves a day off
Yeah.
of your life. So I'm just
Fine.
like racing toward whatever
You
the middle
promise?
of that is. Like, whatever my life expectancy is, I'm like trying to bring it closer with hot dogs.
Take a bite.
Yeah.
Sig.
I'm Rapunzel. I'm building
Wait, so
like
if
a
you-
braid to the end of my life with hot dogs.
Wait, so the people who do hot dog eating contests, is that just like you've taken a year off if you eat 12?
I don't think
I
they're,
think they throw them up.
you do. Interesting.
Not during the
Not during
competition.
the
No, I
sure.
think, no, you think after.
But
do.
Oh,
some
yeah,
of
you
it's
gotta go
absorbed
purge.
No, I think
into
you're
the
messing
body,
up your
sure.
stomach. That's like a permanent mess up if, like, you are teaching your body to, like, consume a
Yeah.
bunch
Yeah.
and then.
I don't think they're healthy people, and I don't think we
No,
should look
I
to
think-
them
Okay, we don't have to talk about
for
that.
their hot.
Yeah.
But I'm
Well-
interested. They do eat these things on July 4th, right?
Yes, it's true.
It's
It's
the main
true.
day.
I think another reason, and maybe this is going to be good for your kid, but when Harrison Ford starts flying the plane, it's
Yeah.
kind of like he's Han Solo. William H. Macy is Chewbacca. It's like Star
Yeah.
Wars all of
I
a
love
sudden.
William H.
Yeah.
Macy in this movie.
And
Oh, he's
there's
really good at-
jets. I mean,
he's
come on.
so
There's jets. There's
pure.
crashes. There's real explosions. Like in the 90s, they used to really blow shit up.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it looks different and it looks cool.
I
Well-
actually could get. I feel like I can feel the tears behind my eyes welling up just thinking about the music. It's coming. Just thinking about the music when they're getting the people off the plane and
yeah.
they're swinging
Oh my
between the
God.
planes. It is such a beautiful scene. I am getting emotional.
But it is the one part where you're like, we do have better technology
Yeah,
for the
I mean,
What, the
that's
zip
shot
line
of
stuff?
people flying out of the
Yeah.
plane.
Yeah.
They
Well,
do,
yeah, it's
like-
important the other plane be lower.
They're all
so they
like,
can zip line
we'll
to
stay
it.
with
One of the
you
main
till
zip
the
line
end,
rules.
Mr. President.
Oh,
Come
I
on, you're right.
know.
See, that's beautiful.
I will. Okay, here's my only note.
That's a good lesson for a kid.
My only note about the ending is like I think like there was a traitor among us, okay? And
Gibbs.
Yeah, and it's like we know that and we know that the whole way through and I feel like they're building and they're building and they're
But we
building
don't
and they're
know
building.
why.
Yeah, and then at the very end Gibbs is like it was me and then they kill him and then that was it.
No, they leave him on the plane, and
Oh,
I was
they leave-
watching
oh,
it
that's
with
right.
subtitles because that's where I'm at my life, and it says Gibbs wailing.
But like
Maybe.
I thought that there was going to be bigger build up. Like I thought that like that moment like it
Like he was
in-
going to suddenly have a Russian accent or something.
Or
being like,
something.
"This is
Oh, yeah,
a
that
bad
should have done
secret."
that.
like it just felt like it was but like at the end, you know,
They were like, let's wrap it up.
yeah, like the
We
whole.
gotta-
I mean, I get that too. I want we don't need to stay here all day. It was already half an hour too long. If you want my honest note,
Okay.
but like,
What? I needed a half hour
Yeah.
more.
Yeah.
I
But-
was surprised at how good it was.
it's perfect.
it's
Yeah.
a good movie.
Perfect movie. You mean?
Listen, I will be. I already warned you that I would brag that I know the first lady
Yes.
personally.
Yeah. What's her name?
Wendy Crewson.
Oh, wow.
One of a Canadian
doesn't-
treasure.
She's so good in it too.
She really is. I mean, it's not an easy part to play.
Oh, and I think I had like a sexual awakening for the teenage daughter watching it. Like a confusing one as a kid where I was just like, that's the most beautiful girl who's like a peer
Yes,
I've ever seen. But keep going.
Yes.
Can I ask you
Gary
about
Oldman's
First
kind of
Lady?
creepy
Yeah,
with
so I
her.
didn't mean to.
Yeah, he does. That's an unfortunate part. We actually looked her up.
Okay.
After watching the movie, because we, in the pantheon of kind of peak Harrison Ford, like let's say post Temple of Doom, he's playing dad. He's America's dad, America's badass
Patriot Games.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like this whole run,
Fugitive.
he has a pretty like iconic pantheon of wife actress. Like
Yeah.
a lot of our greats at one time or another.
Yeah, and every woman dream of play wife.
Exactly. From Anne Bancroft to, I mean, there's just so many wonderful
Oh my
ones.
God, he gets Michelle Pfeiffer later. Sorry.
She's not someone who in the American film
Yeah.
has had the career.
It's interesting.
Before or after. It's actually not even like something happened. It was sort of like she, of all these sort of big budget late 80s into 90s Harrison Ford thrillers, was the actress I didn't know.
Yeah, it's very. I met her like I would have been like this was what 2017. No, 20. What year was this? This movie came
This
out.
movie came out in like 96.
No, 97. Sorry, I'm off. Yeah. It was like I was 16 or 17. So I met her probably when I was like 19. So it was after she had done this.
wow.
And yeah, it's
Was she still talking about it all the time?
she mentioned it to me. Like I worked in
I'd
this
be like, hey, did you know me? I'm in Air Force One.
I worked at this retail store that just had like a lot of famous people would come through. Like we're talking Mariah Carey, we're talking Britney
These are
Spears.
some of the most famous
Yeah,
people that
like
ever
we're
existed.
like so we got to meet like I met Cher.
Whoa.
Like so
These
it
are
was
top
like
three.
Yeah, like it was very
this is crazy.
You met Wendy.
That's when I met Wendy Crewson, and we dressed her for like a Canadian film event. So I believe she probably went on and did a lot of Canadian film afterwards.
She stayed loyal. She might have just
What'd
not
you
been
put
dressed
her
right.
in? Do you remember the outfit?
Yeah, it's like it was a beautiful like 2-piece like copper like silk wrap top and beautiful
That sounds
skirt.
gorgeous.
It was very fun.
At 19, you were allowed to dress.
Yeah, I mean,
what was the store?
it was called San Remo, and it was like across
Ooh.
from like the nicest hotel in Toronto. So everybody would come in, and these are like Matt already knows. My weirdest story was they were shooting the Jamie Foxx movie Bait, starring a man named Doug. Doug was his name. Doug.
Not a lot of famous Dougs.
Well, this is the guy that went
Dougie
on
Doug.
to marry
Ducky Duck.
that child.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
I do
What?
know he,
Courtney Stodden.
Yes.
Doug, I believe he
oh,
was
the
in the
Child
Green
Bride,
Mile.
yes.
Yes, he
He's
was in the Green Mile, and then the movie he did after was
Wow.
Bait. I went on a date with him before
Whoa.
he dated.
But you were almost a child.
way
You
too
could have
old
been
for
the
him.
child bride.
I was not the one he
Whoa.
wanted. It was he asked me and another girl who worked there to dinner, and he clearly preferred her. She was like a beautiful Russian model, and I was sort of there for eating the food. And
Well, you dodged a bullet because it doesn't seem like.
Yet Courtney Stodden now is one of our
Yeah.
biggest celebrities, and if not for Doug.
I know. I mean, it's like,
Thanks, Doug, if you're listening.
but like
Yeah.
they were both being creepy because Jamie Foxx at the time, hopefully this doesn't get our podcast sued, was doing a
now
thing
he's
where
not
like
gonna do the palm.
Take him off the
he
dream.
walked in with a woman and
I'm
was
listening.
like sat down in like the man chairs at the back and was like, try on something sexy. And so like I was in the dressing room area with her giving her outfits. And I was like, oh, how do you know Jamie? And she was like, I don't know him. He just came up to me on the street and said, if you go into this store with me and try on something sexy, I'll buy it for you.
Whoa! Honestly, my dream come true.
Yeah, that's a cool line.
If
I-
anyone asked me to do
Great.
that, anyone
Yeah,
on
me
earth,
too.
I
What's
would
the
do it.
problematic part? Is she being
I
trafficked?
remember
Was
his card got declined, and that was super
Oh.
awkward. Super awkward.
Oh.
Like, and I was just like, Mr. Fox, like,
So what happened?
he bought her a dress, and I
But
remember
with a different card.
yes, and I remember she came back in afterwards and was like, remember that crazy time I came in here with Jamie Foxx?
Wow.
And you're like, can I return that and just get the cash?
I mean, like, it was
Jamie, if you're listening,
Yeah.
I'll put on anything.
yeah, you want to
looking
see me
for
put
your
on
Jamie, if you're
Yeah.
listening, I as well will put on anything.
Remember at the top when I said that my body's only gotten better with age? But it was like a very fun time to work at this store and like try on, like just meet celebrities and
Yeah.
it was,
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
so fun.
I have a
our
pitch for
friend, our Gabe Liedman, he worked at Barney's in his early 20s in New York and had a lot of similar
Wow.
people in Manhattan, people would, that sort of celeb would come in looking
Yeah.
to be dressed for an event or sort of like, and they had a lot of like almost famous people, handlers there that were sort of like, I'm Bjork's shopper for the day. That doesn't just like help them in the dressing room, kind of like almost dresses them by just saying like, here's the most expensive cool things that you should get, because that's why you go to Barney's. And so he had a lot of really good stories. You should have him on the pod.
I
when
worked
he has
at
a
a-
child one day.
Yeah. I worked at a really fancy, in college, I worked at a fancy clothing boutique in Santa Barbara. Shout out to Blue Bees, no longer exists.
Oh.
But-
Movies, have you covered that show? Yeah. that's one of the-
Yeah. When we do Bluey, the TV show,
Yeah.
we'll be doing a sort of a crossover promotional thing.
But I once, like the day that I had off, Jessica Simpson came in and my friends helped her, and she spent $18,000, I remember, and for some reason, we kept the receipt. My friend Kate was working that day and had helped her with everything, and we kept the receipt and we had it on our fridge for a year. Just like Jessica Simpson's Blue Bees receipt.
$18,000 at Bluebees. It's not even like you were at Saks Fifth Avenue.
No,
It's just
it was very fancy. Like, I don't know if you remember Subi's jeans or
Sure,
Bluebees-
sure.
Subies and
Subies at
Bluebees.
Bluebees,
Subi's at Blue Bees. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean Cher when she came in, she didn't try on anything, but she just went that.
Yeah, that rocks.
Like it was like, and we hand wrote our receipts still at
Oh,
that point.
wow.
So I remember being like,
you have to sign this?
like because she
Wow.
just bought I think she bought like 5 pages
Shaking,
of receipt.
like a Goosebumps
yes,
font. Like the cover of a Goosebumps.
yeah, because like you were like, oh my god, like that was like one that I was like, this is I'll never recover from this.
Incredible. Speaking of scary things, to go
Yeah.
to tie back to Air Force One,
Please.
You know, there was the first year, you know, like when you just can kind of have anything on because your baby's like not processing.
Yeah.
There was a second, as much as he was into, and not really like ever, he doesn't understand enough of the narrative of Air Force One to be like, oh no, the president's daughter's in danger.
Yeah, he
I'm
doesn't know what the
scared.
president is.
But it's like there's machine guns tearing into people and people dying. And it like made me realize like, oh, at a certain point,
Yes.
you have to cut off and age restrict, and also made me wonder what my attitude, being obsessed with as like a kid of my generation who was trying to like couldn't get a thing at Blockbuster unless a friend's parent was there or
Yeah.
who has HBO, and trying to get rated R movies, like what, and you guys, your kids are a little younger than this maybe, but like what the like violence or gun violence threshold of like how you see that playing out the next 5-10 years.
Well, Joni is, when she was like 5.5, she
How
got
old is
into
Joni now?
Looney Tunes. She's 5.5.
Oh, okay.
And I showed her some Looney Tunes, and she after a Bugs Bunny cartoon, she would always say, "That's one smart rabbit."
That is so cute.
But
Nailed
in
it.
those, there's so much violence and
Yeah.
guns and cannons,
Yeah.
and she would see characters be shot over and over, and then come back in the next scene. And she asked me about that, and I explained to her that it's just like cartoon logic, and then she thought it was fun. But then also, I was starting to be like, this is kind of violent.
Yeah.
And luckily, like she goes through things pretty quickly, and then she was like over it then she moved on to something else. But I was like, oh, Looney Tunes is super violent, but like I also watched it as a kid, and
Yeah, but we didn't have like the constant threat of being shot in our schools. It's like
Yeah, that would.
over our heads all the
No,
time.
I know.
We
Like,
did it. Just no one. The threat was always there. We just
Sure.
somehow.
yeah. From
Yeah.
'96 on, we were like,
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was
yeah, yeah.
absolutely vulnerable. I mean, someone could have taken me down. Just no one did. It doesn't mean the threat wasn't
like
real.
Sal, she's not really like into anything that's like overly violent. Like some kids have like anytime there's tension or like, you know, her best friend like will not watch movies. Anytime there's anything too tense or disagreement, he cannot handle it.
Oh,
So like I always feel, I'm like, we're going to see a movie this weekend, and his parents are like, he won't want to go.
Gus is like that. He won't watch
yeah.
narrative because it's like
Yeah, like
people are in
It's just
precarious
stressful.
situations.
exactly. There
That's
is
what scenes are.
conflict. That's what drives story. You know
Yeah,
what
yeah.
I mean? I'm not going to sit him down and explain it to him, but
Yeah.
but like Sally is pretty good, but like we haven't had anything. Like we once tried to watch like Cass's show, the
Star Wars
yeah, the
thing?
Star Wars one, and that had a lot of
Skeleton
like,
Crew?
because it's like kind of more like it's weirdly like Stranger Things and
Yeah.
meets Star
Kids,
Wars,
right.
and like we're trying to like get her
it's
into
not for
the
anyone.
Star Wars universe, kind of like figuring out what like that can be, and that's like
How
a
do we
lot
introduce
of
the IP to her as
Exactly.
softly as possible,
I wanna
so
introduce-
she can start spending the money on it.
Well, it is interesting. Like we were once at a birthday party, and they had like spent so much money on a Star Wars birthday, where it was like it wasn't our birthday. It was like we were at the park, there was a birthday party, and they had like 4 or 5 stormtroopers and like all of these people in outfits, and like Sally was just like her mind was blown because she was like, "What is that?" Like didn't know.
Yeah.
Star
Yeah.
Wars.
Yeah, like, you know,
Sally.
I'm like, that's stormtroopers, dude. Like, what are you
Yeah.
talking about? But like, she had no reference point for it. So we're trying to get her in.
But I do hear kids now weirdly like know character IP before they've ever seen the stuff. Like can be fans of Chewbacca never having seen, because there's like it's like kids knowing Stitch never even having watched the original animated, because it's like the toys and
Yes.
the like graphics are
Like
everywhere.
Leo, when we walked in, and Leo like holding up a fake gun to us, being like, "You seen Deadpool?" And his mom being like, "He's
He's never seen
Deadpool."
Deadpool. He's
Yeah.
not even sure if it's
doesn't
animated or
know
it's real,
what
but he's
it is.
obsessed when
Yeah.
he dresses like Deadpool. He's seen like
Yeah.
one picture of Deadpool.
That's
and
all
he's just
it took.
like and when he asks, "Have you seen Deadpool?" It's
At
not so he can
gunpoint.
talk about it. It's like, "Do you have any info on Deadpool?"
Yeah.
Like, what's going on?
I'm
with this
holding my
movie?
finger gun at your
Tell
head.
me,
and
tell
blow
me
your brains out
everything
unless
you
tell
know
me.
about Deadpool.
I'm trying to piece together the experience of seeing the movie via
And what's it
polling.
like when he's with Wolverine?
Yeah. All of this does make me feel though like there are worse things that we could have shown Waylon while we were laying down.
Way worse.
Like I'm
Yes.
There's not
I
that much
actually
blood
think-
in this. There's a lot of shooting, but it doesn't get very gory
So
or
dark.
I feel like I really
Prepping him for
started
the plane
this.
travel we did later this summer.
Yeah.
So this is what it's like being on a long
He
plane.
loves airplanes.
Yeah.
Airplane.
High.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Yeah, of course. Like
Up airplane.
I think this is like, we all have to get honest as being parents, and like being sick or hungover is one of the worst experiences when you have a kid. It's rough. And
there's even a Bluey about it.
oh yeah, there is. Yeah,
there is a Bluey where the
about
parent
it.
they don't expressly say it. There's one where they're like laying around and really just like and the kids are just a lot, and it's them really struggling through the day.
Wow, that's great. Good.
Yeah.
They should
And
know.
there's one I saw recently. I'm not a big. I actually have Bluey's grown on me where the dad's like really depressed and constantly like staring into the abyss, and then like eventually his kids pull him out of it. But it's like an interesting.
I mean, that is
I've
parenting.
never seen a single Bluey episode, but everything I'm hearing.
Well, I think
I'm
that
liking.
it's hard. It's hard to figure out like what is the first thing you start showing them, and like, you know, it is once they start registering what's going on, they are really like drinking it in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's also like I mean, at a certain point, and probably most of the points, you want to put something on that they enjoy, that occupies them and entertains them, because that's why we all.
And your
watch
kid
TV.
is
Because TV rocks,
truly
TV's
not
the
going to
best
remember this at all.
No.
Like Joni doesn't remember anything that happened before 3, really, and so there's just.
But I'm like, the difference between like when do we like let Waylon take an iPad on the couch and watch 2 episodes of a show, whatever, for 20 minutes, is different than like we don't even. once or twice I've had like a football game on.
Yes.
And he walks in and out of the room, is maybe dazzled by commercials, but it's like, is that a different type of like, is it kind of like, we don't want you to be seeing screens or us on screens or be like distracted versus like, when are you allowed to just like suck the hose of content? Because it's very different from being like, yeah, we have the Emmys on versus like you're allowed to binge.
I think I was just thinking like if I was really, really hungover today, would I put on Air Force One again? And what I would probably do is give him an iPad.
Right.
I mean, this is all like, it's very, you feel guilty no matter what decision you make. And like, I would say Sal got her iPad at around 2. And that is when she was sort of able to watch some content like while she's eating her breakfast in the morning or after she has her dinner. It's like, you start thinking, like some parents are no iPad. Like every parent's going to make up their own rules. And like, ultimately, it's, you know, you're going to grow up and be on a computer anyways.
Should we rate this thing?
Let's rate it.
Let's rate it. 1 to 4 screens. You can rate it just in general or take into account your child.
Yes.
I'm going to rate Air Force One 3 screens.
Okay, I love this.
Great film. Occupied him, distracted him.
You needed it.
Soothed him. But taking one off because of how many people die by machine gun
death.
Loudly with like the real sound of the bullet rapport and pacing and everything just being so vivid.
I want to say 4 screens just because I want to give a different number than you, but I have to take a point off and give it 3 screens for my guilt, which is of course crushing us all endlessly into the ground. And then, and I think I'm the violence and also, you know, being hungover in front of your kid. Got to take a point off for that. That's
for 2? Or
no, that's half point for each one.
Okay,
3 screens.
Okay.
But I think better. Look, he's not watching. No offense to anyone listening or you guys, he's not watching Paw Patrol. Propaganda.
Yeah,
that's true. Good
yeah, Secret Service are pretty.
No, I don't want to hear it.
Well, some are double agents. You know?
And I mean, the Paw Patrol people, they're sort of like, they're not working directly for their cops. They're their own thing. You know what I mean? I would argue, sort of. They're sort of vigilantes if you think about it.
Paramilitary force, kind
exactly.
Of.
So
private
because like they're kind of in that town. They're like, if you're in trouble, you don't call the cops. You call Paw Patrol.
That's true. Yeah, you
Wait,
can't
here's
trust the
my
cops.
question.
You can trust the cops.
So I think actually it might be good. I don't know.
They're kind of like Knights of Columbus. They're like like-minded community members with guns.
Okay. Would either of you let either of your daughters watch Air Force One right now?
Not
Absolutely
right now,
not.
but if they had been 2 or Joni was like 2.5 or 2 and like I was in the same situation you guys were in and I was watching it, and she would sit through it, I'd be like, great.
Yeah.
It's not going to do anything.
Love that.
And that's why I give it 4
Wow,
screens because I haven't let her watch it yet. So I just love the movie.
Yeah, 4 for you.
Right.
Yeah.
And I also have a pitch for you for your customized server. I have this idea for a streaming service called Dad Plus. And it's just dad movies like Air Force One. You get like Master and Commander.
Oh yeah, I basically that is what my
any
old
World
Plex
War
was.
II movie.
You know
There's
what's
a plugin
sad?
you can set up that I had running for a bit. I only used it a few times at a job I had where it's like you can make a playlist of movies and actually create a live channel out of these movies that you can like watch on this app or in like a browser and give it to anyone. So I made a Tom Cruise channel where I had every Tom Cruise movie and it randomized it and just made so you could just put on the channel and have more like the TNT
like you're cooking.
experience
I
where
love
it's like,
that.
I'd watch a few minutes of The Last Samurai. I don't want to make the choice to start
No,
it, but I know
missed
this
that.
scene.
Yeah. You know what's the saddest thing? Max has been taken.
Yeah.
It's a bummer.
Well, I would say the saddest thing is that this Plex burned down in a fire when our house burned down. But
I have found the melted hard drives, unfortunately, so I can rebuild.
You made it once, you'll build it again.
If you build it, they will come. Yeah. And I'll invest in this company.
Great. Guys, I'll just give you the link.
If you build it, they will stream.
Yeah.
Boom.
Beautiful.
There we go.
I'm gonna give it 2.
Yeah, I saw that
That's
coming.
rough.
I knew you were going low.
I think you've given more to a lot of kid shows that are bad.
I know. I'm brutal in this situation. It has nothing to do with children. It has nothing to do with any of it. I just was so stressed out watching this movie.
I think that's
It's-
really
And you're not
fair.
American.
Yes, I couldn't relate. I couldn't fully understand. You know what I
Imagine
mean?
having a
I
strong
was like,
head of
but
state.
we call him a
Imagine.
prime minister,
Yeah.
is what my
Yeah.
main bump was the whole
Right.
time. And the plane is called the Big Beaver in Canada.
Sure, yeah.
But it just, that movie had a time and a place, and I missed it.
I miss
That's
that time
really
and
fair.
place.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Take me back.
We used to be a country.
I wish I could watch it when I was 17 and go, yes.
Hell yeah.
I think you need a spin-off podcast where you watch the Dad Plus movies. Like, I want to hear your thoughts on The Fugitive, on...
K-19, the Widowmaker.
Yeah, yeah. Exactly.
Well, it's going to be a lot of low scores.
Yeah.
You know?
All fours from me.
You know, Matt, this movie plays into a lot of nostalgia. And Matt's a nostalgia boy and I'm not. I have nothing to be
Interesting.
nostalgic for.
You could be a nostalgia girl.
But that means you had to experience it the first time, right?
Oh, yeah. Do you watch Kids in the Hall and feel that?
No, because my parents are watching
Your
it and I
parents
thought it
would
was
never
for
let you
lame.
watch this movie because it's so mainstream.
I know, yeah. They'd be like, enjoy it with the sheep. And to that I say, bah, you know?
Let's watch a show.
Well, I'd just like to say that we here at Screentimers also don't negotiate with terrorists.
But we do negotiate with our children, which I guess we're not supposed to do.
No, but to be fair, parenting is harder than international relations.
Truer words have never been spoke. Thanks to our guests Max Silvestri and Leah Beckmann, and thanks to our editor Neil Davis.
Remember to check out their podcasts, Past My Bedtime on Audible, and on October 21st, check out I Need You Guys, wherever you get your podcasts.
See you next time, guys.
See you.
Let's watch a show. Let's watch a show. Let's watch a show.